Crap. This puts a major hurdle into getting this motor apart. Welcome back to another exciting and riveting video here in the AMR Power Sports shop. We're going to continue working on the 87 TRX 350. I've had all the head studs, head bolts soaking in PB Blast overnight, so hopefully we'll be able to pull the head and stuff today pretty easy without too much difficulty. I am working solo today. I don't have my camera girl with me. She's doing stuff with the kiddos and cleaning the house a bit. So I'm probably just going to put you on a time lapse till I pull the head off, because this is a paying customer and I don't want to take time to mess around videoing a whole lot when they're on the clock. So let's see if we can get the head of this buggy pulled. Unfortunately, I got a head bolt here that's being stubborn. It's stuck in there and the head completely stripped. So I've taken a slightly smaller wrench and actually drove it down on there so it's wedged good and tight. I'm going to use a bigger wrench here to see if I can get leverage enough. As long as that stays on there, maybe we'll get her to pop loose. Nope. Crap. This puts a major hurdle into getting this motor apart. Oh, I'm probably gonna end up having to cut the head of the bolt off. And then once I slide the head off, hopefully I'll be able to get a hold of it with a pair of vice grips or something and twist it out of there. Either that or weld a bar fast to the bolt and then twist it. But I think that's my only option at this point. You can see here, guys, what happened. As best the GoPro will focus, but yeah, she stripped good. I can't even get a hold of it with a pair of vice grips. And she's probably too tight and torqued too tight anyway for vice grips to work. It'd probably just slip. So I'm gonna have to try to come in here and carefully cut the head off so that we can lift the head of the engine off, and then hopefully be able to get that bolt out. Once it's more of it's exposed and we can get a good grip on it, or like I said, weld a bar fast to it for leverage. Old four-wheelers, you gotta love working on them, even though it is a Honda. They can still cause you much aggravation and agony at times. I gotta be very, very careful because there's this bracket here that holds the decompression cable for if you ever kickstart this thing. I don't want to ruin that. Wish me luck, guys. Is that enough that I can just pop that washer off? Part of the head of the bolt, maybe I can pop it off. I think I'm done for time being, sweetie. Let's see if I can pop. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut that some more. Ooh, that was hot. That's hard to see with all them sparks. Ha-ha! Alright, and they didn't hurt that bracket too bad. Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, I took a touch off that bracket, but that's no way enough that it's going to hurt the function of it just to hold the cable. And the best news is now we're loose and I can slip the valve cover off. And we had success. We've got the head off. Now hopefully I'll be able to get a hold of this in order to twist it out. If not with vice grips, I can take and weld a piece onto this to hopefully be able to pry it off. But right now I'm gonna go ahead and take the clutch case cover off so we can get in there. We'll have to remove the clutch in order to get to our timing chain gear so we can then pull the timing chain up out. I'm hoping I don't have to take the whole head off and the cylinder off, but we'll see. We finally got everything apart and the timing chain out. This exhaust and getting it separated to get the head off was an absolute nightmare. Woo! But I got the old timing chain and the new timing chain here as a side-by-side comparison. It's probably gonna be hard to tell on camera as you're watching this, but I've got the ends lined up here pretty close, and you can see the difference here, hopefully, in length. This is the old one, and you can see how I need a straight edge. What can I use for a straight edge? Alright, as you can see, the ends are about as close to being even as I can get them with the hoops. And here is the bottom, and you guys can see the distance there between the new and the old and how much the old is stretched. It might not seem like more than an 8 3/16, but for a timing chain, that's quite a bit, hence our slap. So, new chain is gonna go in, everything is gonna go back together. However, I did have one misfortune here. As you guys saw, I had to cut the head off of this head stud, and guess what? You cannot find these anymore, anywhere. It's a discontinued part, so no one has it. I even scoured the pages of eBay for 45 minutes trying to find at least a used one. Nada. So, my only option now is come time to put this back in, I am going to have to weld a nut on the end of this and hope that I get a strong enough bond with the weld that I can torque it to spec. Now, thankfully, this is bolted down so many places, I don't think it's going to be a big issue, even if we can't torque this, to just kind of snugger a little bit. And it's only one out of, you know, how many there. So I think we'll be okay. But if you guys are looking at buying an 86 and 87 TRX 350, if it needs some headworks, pray for days, a little fasting might not hurt either, that you don't break off a head stud or run in like I did and it strip out and you have to cut it, because you're not going to be able to find replacements. So, word of advice there. Alright, I'm going to clean up the motor a little bit, put stuff back together. Alright, of course, before I throw everything back together, I did clean up the head a little bit as best I could without completely tearing everything apart. And I cleaned up the top of our piston in there too, got it looking nice and shiny. Everything cleaned up very, very nicely. I don't know if this motor's ever had a rebuild or not, but I lowered the piston to check out our cylinder walls, and it looks brand new. The cross hatching and everything is still there, perfectly visible. So if this hasn't had a rebuild, that's impressive. But then again, it is a Honda. Alright, we got the motor all back together. Everything's buttoned up. You guys can see here I was able to weld a nut on top of the broken, or on top of the stud I had to cut off in order to get it out. And it's holding good, so that was a quick and easy fix there. Let's see if this guy will fire up. I got oil back in it. Everything, I'm pretty sure, is back on and tightened up. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. Let's see if she'll start. Boy, moment of truth. driving chain. All right, I'm gonna put the rear brakes, the new rear brakes I got installed. I gotta throw the hub and everything back together, put the body panels on, and this guy will be ready to go back to the owner. Woo! All right, guys, as you can see, the Foreman is back together. She's purring. Let's take her for a quick test drive up the field. She's still burning off some of the old oil and stuff in there that the smoke's from. She's sounding pretty good. The fuel pump's a little finicky there for a bit. It had me a little worried, but I think we're okay. It seems to be catching up and keeping up now. I washed it off. I think I got it a little wet. Let's go for a little drive. Are a little weak. Just washed it. I don't want to get it all dirty. It's a hot one today, guys. Hot and humid. Like an old quad, that's for sure. Solid rear axle. Front brakes take some pumping to get them built up. view. All right, I would say another AMR Power Sports job ready to go back to the owner. Thanks for watching.